Gonna attack, I'm gonna see how many guys I can get with me, and we start rotating with the three of us. Starting Glandon, I would say this is one of the toughest climbs in the Alps. It's just steep, continuous, it never gives you a break. And as I shift back up to the small ring, my chain drops. Chain drop. What's up guys, what's up cycling fanatics? Welcome back to episode 2 of my Haute Route Alps documentary, where today we raced from Megève 147 kilometers all the way to here, Alpe D'Hues, where I'm right now at 1800 meters. You can see the ski lifts right behind me, where they're coming down with mountain bikes. The race went up Col de Glandon first, and then we had to go up the side street of the Alpe D'Hues, finishing on the last couple bends on the official Tour de France finish. 3,300 meters of elevation. The Col de Glandon is probably one of the toughest and most breathtaking climbs of the whole Alps, and the Alpe D'Hues is probably the most famous. In episode number 1, you saw my preparation for the whole event, my training and my goals of the Haute Route Alps. In this episode, I want to focus more on my daily prep. What do I do before the race, during the race, and after the race to prepare for racing every single day? Sometimes it gets quite complicated because besides to plan what I actually need to eat during the race, I also have to plan when I can eat it. Not only climbing and descending, but also taking in consideration the feed zones. Some of the feed zones are within the timed section of the race. You want to reduce the amount of stopping, but a lot of feed zones are not. They're in the neutral part of the race. So those are the feed zones where you really want to stop, take your time to fill up your stuff. I made a bit of a change in my nutrition strategy as of a few weeks ago, when I found out that I'm actually sweating a lot more than I thought initially. I've been racing and training with only one small bottle per hour, that's 500 milliliters. But with the sweat rate at these temperatures, right now it's 35 degrees Celsius, I sweat about 1.5 liters, so I need to increase my fluid uptake, which will give me extra logistical problems because I also have to take it with me or fill it up at the feed zones. Either in the morning or in the night before, I plan all my food in the Eat My Right app, so I know what to take during the day. And then I look at the stage profile and I have a look at where the feed zones are and I make a strategy. I'm trying to be the most efficient throughout the whole day because I don't have any side support. I don't have people that can give me a bottle in the feed zone. So if I need to stop, it will cost me time. Importing the file to Eat My Ride. We're gonna start at 7 and I'm going to put in a watt of 290 and that's normalized power. I'm gonna do the calculation how much food I need and it tells me to eat 530 grams based on these calculations. Fluid intake default is 500 milliliters an hour, but tomorrow it's gonna be super hot again. So I'm gonna switch this to 750. I'm probably gonna start with one Martin 160 and two 320s in my bottles. I'll have one water somewhere at the feed zone and I can bring 2 bags of 320. Still need 1.5 liters. So I'm gonna add isotonic sports drink. I'm also racking up my grams per hour to 100. Eat My Right only goes to 90, but I can do more than that. So now it tells me to get 590 grams. So I'm gonna add 2 more gels. So that's gonna be a lot of food tomorrow. 100 grams an hour, and this will keep me in the green. Preparation meal, the breakfast here at the hotel, 5:30, 200 grams of muesli, jam, and orange juice. I don't know exactly what they have for lunch in the Haute village tomorrow, so I'll see that once I get there. And I know what to eat for the rest of the day to prepare for the next day, because you're always eating for the next day. Right now it's 8:45. I've been packing up my room. It took me like an hour because I stayed here for 3 nights. It was kind of a bomb explosion, but I tried to prepare everything for tomorrow. So I made some stacks, all my last bits and pieces that I need for the ride tomorrow. So my camera, my heart rate monitor, and then I've got my race bag, my cycling kit. I put it on a stack, and then I've got my camera gear. All of the rest went into the big travel bag. And tomorrow morning I'll have to unplug all my electric devices that I'm charging. So that's it. I hope I can sleep another day tomorrow. 6:40. Stage 2 will start at 7 o'clock because it's a long day. Really shit night of sleep. I woke up feeling like a train wreck. I remember the feeling from last year's Haute Route in the Pyrenees, but that only came after stage 3, I think. Now I'm just smashed. I couldn't sleep last night. Too much going on in my head. For your recovery, sleep is super important. So I don't know, maybe I'm gonna stay in the wheels a little bit on the flat part today, just to conserve a bit. My original plan was to attack, leading towards the Glandon because it's a long flat. We'll see how I feel when we get on the road.
Let's go!
So let's go over the stage of today. We started in Megève with 37 kilometers of neutral. It was a descent and it just kept on going. 24k in still neutral. It's quite a long neutral, 36k, and it was all downhill until now. But we're not going that fast, so it's taking a while. What's your plan, Ruben?
Instead of yesterday attacking on the flat, I'm gonna let all the other guys from the top 10 waste their energy on the flat and then maybe do a sneak attack before the climb.
In the Glandon.
In the Glandon,
yeah.
And then I fear that the light guys will catch us again.
Within the first couple hundred meters. Because the neutral part wasn't that fast, it's pretty easy to take a pee break. So it's always smart to pee before the timing starts because that's gonna save you a little bit of weight and time. It took us an hour and 15 minutes and that's when the race started. As the race started, the pace went up quite high and there was already a few attacks. I hesitated on one of these attacks to go with it. Drake, a guy from Los Angeles, he was out there and I figured any time I get on the rest of the pack before I start on the Glandon is going to be helpful because it's going to be a very, very long and tough climb. But I saw the peloton behind me and I knew I had to wait for a little bit. Then we had this little climb, and on the descent, that's when I hammered it. I love going downhill and I also love racing. Just riding in the peloton the whole valley is not a lot of fun. So I figured I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna see how many guys I can get with me. Drake and Benjamin, they chased me down and we started rotating with the three of us. We got a gap actually pretty fast and we just kept it up. Most of it was flat, a little bit down, stayed away for over 25 minutes, but then I could see the peloton, they were kind of ramping up the speed and they were with a very, very big group. Well, we gave it a try together with Drake and Benjamin. Who doesn't gamble cannot win.
Almost.
Here we are. What's up, my friends? We got brought back by the peloton and then there was another 15 minutes to the start of the climb. In the pack, trying to recover, just relaxing. Starting the Glandon, it's almost a 20-kilometer climb. I would say this is one of the toughest climbs in the Alps. I did the Glandon twice from the other side when I raced the Marmotte in 2016 and 2017. So I descended this side, but I never went up. It's just steep, continuous, it never gives you a break. The first group I was riding with, they went fast, but they were also very surgy. So they were going 450 watts and then 350 watts and then 450 watts and then back. To follow that for me is just killing. So I was trying to smooth out all these surges, and every time they would surge I would let them roll away a little bit. When it would be a little bit flatter, I would try to catch back up. And this worked out for a very long time. About strategy, I started with 2 big bottles and I aimed to be empty at the feed zone halfway up the Glandon.
I have to stop at the feed station.
Because taking an extra bottle from the start, maybe in my jersey pocket, would be extra weight to carry up the whole time. So I figured if I stop very fast, I fill up 1 bottle, I get enough to the top where there's a neutral feed zone.
I need to fill up at the feed station, not attacking.
So super fast stop at the feed zone, fill a bottle, get back on the bike, and I chase them down. And the feed zone was in a little bit flatter part, so that was my advantage because I get a lot of speed and I actually was able to catch back up with them. And then just at that time, there was a bit of confusion about the road. The race director stopped, the gendarmerie went into a side street on the right, and we all were confused where to go. I shoot to the right in this street, but we actually had to go straight. So after this little hiccup, the pace went up just as fast as before.
I need to let them go, do my own pace.
I could only keep it up for a little bit, but in these switchbacks it was so steep, 10% at least. On the pace that they were doing, I had to push 380, 400 watts. With the fatigue of yesterday and at elevation, I just cannot keep that up for the whole hour towards the top, and then I'm going to be smoked for the rest of the day. So I toned it down a little bit, started riding my own pace, and Mattia and Rod dropped out of my wheel again.
I can see the switchbacks near the top. 3K to go. To go. Suffering. Got another loan. I've got the flies. Zoom around my face. Holy shit. Again, the heat, man. Fuck. Last few K was just so freaking steep, no brakes at all. What's up, Benjamin?
I did the Glandon in 1 hour and 7 minutes at 355 watts with the finish at 1800 meters. On the top, I had to regain myself. Drinking a lot because the temperature was already quite high. It was like 27 degrees in the sun at elevation. So you're sweating more when you're on elevation because the air is drier. By the time I was kind of regained myself, the other guys already left. I figured maybe I can catch him in the descent. So I just started descending. I took it easy. I actually stopped for a photo and a video because the lake and the views on this side of the Glandon were actually at least as good as the other side. Just very, very awesome. Back side of the Glandon. I climbed this side before, twice. I'm again by myself, but trying to catch up with the guys in front of me, or I'm gonna wait for a group on the climb of Alpe D'Hues because I don't want to be by myself again, just like yesterday. Really nice descent on this side of the Glandon, but there's also a dip when you climb it, so there's a little climb when you descend it, if you understand what I mean. So this is all neutral, but you have to get over it, so just climbing, trying to go slow. Views are off the charts, and so is the temperature, 29 Celsius, so it's quite warm. Okay, timing will start in 200 meters. First couple guys already left. I didn't see them, so I'm gonna wait for a few riders. Don't want to do the same shit as yesterday. This is the part of the timed and non-timed segments that I don't really enjoy because it's better if just one race in one go, but it is how it is. So I figured I'm gonna wait because I'm gonna be faster if I'm riding with somebody. It doesn't matter if he's in my wheel, I'll still be faster. So it actually took a long time. And then I saw a guy and a lady from Germany, and this dude had been pulling a lot on the flats and he seemed to be pretty strong. So I was joining them. Pas de la Confession, that's what it's called. It's kind of the side street of Alpe D'Hues. We're taking pulls. The guy from Germany, Michael, he was pulling on the steeper parts. I would pull on the more flat parts. There's no flat parts, but when it was like 5 or 6%, I would be up the front because he's lighter than me. It took about 20 minutes and then he couldn't follow the pace. So he dropped out and his wife was still in my wheel until about 25 minutes and then I was by myself. So the whole rest of the climb I did alone, just like yesterday. Strategy-wise, not the perfect day, but I just try to keep up my numbers and go as hard as I can. 27 minutes in the climb, 1300 meters of elevation. Just dropped Team Germany. They couldn't hold my wheel. Average power 350. Trying to keep that up for the next 15 kilometers all the way up to D'Hues. Views are awesome. Just on top of Pas de la Confession, there's a feed zone. So I stopped for some water because I was empty again. I finished 2 big bottles after the top of the Glandon. And I stopped, fill up my bottle, and I start going again. I was trying to race, there was a little descent, and as I shift back up to the small ring, my chain drops. And it was really stuck in my frame. It got all the way tangled in between the front chain ring and my frame, and I really had to, you know, force it out. Good thing I'm using chain wax because it kept my hands completely clean. That's nice. Put my chain back on and then I just try to continue as fast as I could. So, you know, it took me, I don't know, 30 seconds or more because you need to stop. That's how it goes. We get on this balcony road and it's on the side of the Alpe D'Hues mountain. Very narrow, very straight cliff down, left and right corners. I love that kind of riding.
Told you, views up the charts.
And then we get up to the official road up to Alpe D'Hues. Corner 5, I think. From that part, it got very, very tough. And I've been on Alpe D'Hues many times before. Back in 2013, I climbed up the official Alpe D'Hues climb 7 times in a row. It was for a charity event. It's kind of before I was actually racing the road bikes. And the last time was 2016 and 2017 on the Marmot. Come on! Hey! So I can recognize a lot of it. But I think today it was hotter than every other day I went up. It was like 34 degrees Celsius in the sun on a steep climb. At the end of the day, I was just smoked. Corner 2! So I raced through the village of Hues, and then you go through this corner, this roundabout to the left, and you ride up to the official finish.
Very hot, totally wasted, but super awesome. My camera died, so I couldn't film the finish, but I went full gas.
A few moments later.
Since I'm focusing on preparation on this episode, besides preparing for the race, when you're done with the race, that's actually when your preparation for the next day will start. So I want to take you through what I do when I finish my race. Priority number 1 will be hydration and food. So I make sure that I have my recovery shake in my finishing bag, and there's always water at the finish. So I'm gonna drink a bit extra, get my recovery shake. That's step number 1. Then I usually go to take a shower, try to cool down in the shower, and then I go to the big meal that Haute Route provides after the finish. I'm doing it in this order because usually when I finish, I'm just so full of all the ride nutrition that I've been eating, and then with the recovery shake, it gives me a little bit of time, and then I can eat more at the lunch. It's all about food. Nutrition is your number 1 priority throughout this week.
5:30. I'm in the new hotel in Hues, and I'm eating food again. In a multi-stage race like this, your food is actually probably your number 1 priority. Next to sleep, but I didn't get that last night. So I'm gonna try again to sleep well tonight. But I made all the calculations of today into the Eat My Ride app. So I still had to eat some more food. I made some rice noodles. Obviously you can go out to a restaurant, but that just takes a lot of time. You need to go there, you need to find a restaurant. In France they have all these weird opening times. So it's just easier for me to stay in my hotel for an hour, try to relax a little bit, try to cool down. I've got a cold towel here in my neck, and rest, because I also have to shoot the videos of today, and it's just a lot of work. So 100 grams of rice noodles and 3 eggs. And then probably I'll go somewhere for dinner. So I had a really great day today. I felt very strong, way better than yesterday. I got 6th in the total time of today, which made me climb up from 13th to the 8th place in the GC. So it's going pretty good, and I hope I can keep it up for tomorrow. All the way up Col de Glandon, which is the backside of Alpe D'Hues, down and then up the 21 hairpin. So let's see if I can get a proper time on the official Alpe D'Hues. See you in episode 3. See ya!